Hi kids! I'm showing Draw Things, the image and video generator for Mac, iPhone, and iPad. It's free in the app stores, and the models are free to download inside Draw Things. Now you're seeing my Mac rendering in real time from a pipeline script. I'm gonna let that run in the background while I talk. And in a few minutes, I will show you how to set up 3 different edit models for local rendering on iPad. And that setup is the same for Mac and iPhone too. What you need to understand is edit models are smart now, and this is a new workflow. It's a sea change in how image generation is being done. So if you've been asleep for a minute, or maybe 6 months, AI has evolved, and everything is different now. Now, the new generation of models now I'll use a much larger vision-aware text encoder. And these are the large language models that can analyze an image, write captions, find some detail within the image, like a captcha, and they can even read text. So instead of just showing you some side-by-side before and after edits and then commenting on their quality, I'm showing how I actually use these models. And my uses are character renders, costume changes, and creating the start frame for image to video. Now the buzzwords for this is virtual try-on and character LoRa's and IP adapter and face swapping. All of these workflows and more have been replaced with the new edit workflow. This video will give you the basics so you understand how to use all of these models. Now the models I'm showing today are all lightweight versions of their base model. So the bases are Flux 2 and Qwen image. Both are very large. There is a pay-as-you-go option for subscribers called Boost. It's a perk of Draw Things Plus. It allows us to render across multiple servers in the cloud to get larger renders. And I only mention this to let you know that a higher kind of commercial tier exists. But we're not using cloud compute today. Everything is staying local. So we're going to use 4-step edit models. And the models I'm showing are Flux Klein 4B. That's a distilled version. Flux Klein 9B. That's its another distilled version, not the same model. And Qwen Edit 2511 plus a Lightning LoRa accelerator. Now, all 3 of these render locally on low RAM devices. All render in just 4 steps. I will share my render times on the M5 iPad Pro and also on my Mac M2 Ultra. Now, these are not benchmarks. I'm not selling you iPads. These are actual times. And actual times fluctuate as the iPad heats up and depending on your render resolution. Now, why are we rendering locally? Well, number one, you don't need a subscription. You don't need to pay anything. This is all free. By rendering locally on our local device, these are completely uncensored. There is no intervention to prevent you saying naughty words or showing too much skin. That doesn't mean that these models can render everything and in every position. I think you know what I mean. You can't just say like Kama Sutra number 23 and bam, it works. It doesn't work like that out of the box. But as with last time, we can add on to these models with LoRa's that we download from the internet, including not safe for work fine tunes, which can be pretty explicit. And personally, I don't think you really need these not safe for work LoRa's if you're doing kind of fine art nudes or character nudes. Because all you need to do is supply a body and a face. This is essentially head swapping or face swapping. And I will show that workflow too, although it won't be not safe for work. Alright, I'm launching Draw Things, and the first thing that we need to do is download the models. So up in the Model Manager, I'm going to search for Klein, Klein. And there's just a lot of them. So the ones that I downloaded to my iPad are Klein 4B 6-bit and Klein 9B 6-bit. On my Mac, I went ahead and downloaded the 4B or 9B, which is actually 8-bit, but it's unlabeled. Now the base models are also available, and they're labeled as base for each. These are the models that you want to download if you're going to do LoRa training. You can also use them as kind of full models. They're not distilled, so they use guidance of approximately 3 or 4 and steps of about 30, but we're skipping those because we want the distilled models. Now I will go ahead and show you 4B. We're going to do normal size rendering. And because this model is distilled, it doesn't need a LoRa, and it doesn't need a control net because it's an edit model. Steps are 4, exactly. Guidance is 1.0, exactly. I don't use CFG 0, but I suppose I could. My sampler is DDIM trailing. And shift is 5, exactly. Now that's 4B, and under the advanced menu, there's again really nothing to set up. You probably don't need tile decoding because this is such a small model. It runs with almost no memory, and we're not rendering high resolution, so we don't need any high-res fix. Now 9B is the exact same setup. In fact, I can just select the 9B model, and the settings are exactly the same. 4 steps, guidance is 1.0, and shift is 5. Now for Qwen edit 2511, we're gonna type in 2511, and there's no reason you would know this name. This is a new convention that no model is ever final, so Qwen has been releasing fine tunes every 2 months or so with the name year 2025 and the month 11 was November, although it was actually released in December. And again, I downloaded the 6-bit model to my iPad and the regular model to my Mac. And because I'm on an M2, I do not download the BS16s. And on this M5 iPad, do not download the BS16. Just stick with the regular FP16 models. So with 6-bit on my iPad, this is actually the full model. It's just quantized down to 6-bit. So I need to add an acceleration LoRa. And just like there are now a proliferation of Qwen edits with different years and months, there's now just as many LoRa's with the same naming. So I'm selecting, where are you? Can I see it? Yes, 2511 Lightning 4-step. Now, all of the settings are almost exactly the same. Steps are 4, text guidance is 1.0, sampler is a trailing sampler and I keep it at DDIM. The only difference is that shift looks best at 1.00 exactly. Now from the pipeline images at the beginning of the video and comparing the renders here side by side, it probably looks like these are all the same model, and they're certainly more alike than different, and that's what I wanted you to see. I'll let others do the pixel comparison, but for me they're all doing the job. All three are rendering my character from the mood board, and now my character is a 3D cartoon, and I'm rendering in a 3D cartoon style. But they are each able to tell the story. Now, I've also been careful with my prompts. You saw these rendering, so I did not cherry pick. The details are different, but the compositions are all following my prompt. I prototyped the story flow with 4B. The render sequence runs in about 2 minutes. I worked out the blocking and the camera views, and then I can swap to a more accurate model and render larger if that's the goal. Because they're so similar, I know what I'm gonna get. Up to now, I've been rendering from a single image on the mood board, and that's under the control interface. We have a layer for the mood board image, and I've loaded it from my photos with the 3 dots button. And we can select from Apple Photos, from Files, and from Paste. And from here we can also clear the mood board. When I'm rendering from mood board, I loaded an image that has a white background. I don't think it's necessary, but I think it does make it easier. There is no stray background items coming into my images. And then I can prompt basically as if I've loaded an image prompt. In other words, I don't have to describe my subject in a lot of detail because the mood board image is taking care of that. And before I render, I will need to clear the canvas because edit models see the image on the canvas followed by any image in the mood board. Klein sees up to 4 images, and Qwen Edit sees up to 3 images total. And if the canvas is blank, it will start counting from the mood board. So this will be image 1, and any additional images will be image 2, etc., etc. If I have a canvas loaded, the canvas will always be image 1, and then any mood board images will be followed as image 2, image 3, etc. And before I render, I need to clear the canvas. Now that's not the only way to use an edit model. That's probably not the usual way to use an edit model. It's implied that you're actually going to be editing. So let me open a new project. And what I want to do is, I know that the image that I want to edit is 523 and pretty large. And I'm going to load the image from Photos. And now I have an image on the canvas, and my mood board is blank. So we're only seeing the image on the canvas. One last thing you need to know before we start our edits: make sure that your image covers the entire visible canvas. Otherwise, you'll trigger outpainting, and you'll fill in a new part of the background, which might be something that you want, but also you can do that just by increasing the width of the background and arranging her just so that this one thing needs to be filled in. I don't want to do that, so I'm going to jump back to my load state. The other thing that you need to make sure is to set strength as text to image. Do not use image to image. This is not, it's not image to image, it's editing. So we use full text to image. And now we're ready to insert a prompt, just a very simple edit prompt. Change her leather top to a silk blouse, the same color. And there are some differences, obviously. The 4B model had some mistakes. It left the metal from her, I don't know what that is, the buckle, which is just poking, floating through the blouse. The 9B model did a good job. I'm not sure that that's the right color, but it's a good job. And no contest, the 20B model Qwen edit in my book is clearly the best, but that's not really the point. Now, another thing that I want to show that all three models are capable of, and this I think is a little more remarkable than just like changing clothing. The models are spatially aware, so we can prompt for other camera angles. We don't mention the camera. Instead, we say what the view is. So this is view from below looking up, extreme close-up, view from below looking up, and extreme close-up, her angry eyes. So you see, we can change the expression, we can change the camera angle. They're all doing it, and again, no contest, in my opinion. The 20B model Qwen edit wins. Now, one more thing. This is style transfer. I have a second image that I'm gonna load on the mood board, and it's just line art, basically, and not even of a person. It's actually just architecture. And my prompt is change image 1 to match the style of image 2. Remember when I told you that it sees the canvas first and then followed by any mood board images? And again, each model did a different interpretation, and I'm gonna say in this case, well, I like 4B. I think 9B got the idea, and I don't really know what happened with Qwen edit. It just seems to be doing its own thing. And for the last trick, I'm going to show you how to give her a completely new outfit or body. So I'm going to copy our girl into the clipboard. And I'm going to clear the canvas. I'm going into the mood board, and I'm going to clear it so that we're starting from scratch. I'm going to add our girl, to the mood board by pasting. And now I'm going to add an article of clothing or a body from my photos. I'm going to make sure that both are at 100%, although my understanding is that that actually doesn't do anything. That's just a placebo. If I wanted to blank out one of these images temporarily while I'm rendering, I can bring it down to 0. And now this image will not be counted, but the one next to it will be counted as image 1. Now, with both images in the mood board, they don't need to be the same ratio. They don't need to match at all. And you notice that my body or clothing has no head, and that's going to make this easier. In fact, if I wanted to make it very easy, I could have trimmed off the rest of her costume so it was just her head. Sometimes it's better to not give the AI any extra information. But now back in the settings, I have a blank canvas, so I'm free to render at any ratio or size that I want to. And I'll keep the edit prompt simple. A tan blonde woman wearing a brown suit looks curiously at postmodern art in a New York City Soho art gallery. And that's probably good enough. Let's see what we get. Now that's all I have time for. I hope you had to learn. From here on out, it's basically problem solving, and I did not show you everything that's possible with these edit models. I just wanted to get you started so that you can start playing around as fast as possible. Go ahead and subscribe if you want more in-depth tutorials and you are new to draw things, and I will make more tutorials. I'll talk to you soon. Bye!